This fight's been brewing for a long time. They've been avoiding me for a long time. And now it's finally got to happen. They either run away from the fight and announce it publicly or take the fight. Either way, it's a lose-lose situation for him.
Big man ting, smash the like button and subscribe. So we just heard there from Tyson Fury, and this guy is truly gassed, and I'm so glad over the last week or so I've been exposing to you, man, along a particular line of expose. What have I been saying? This man is deflecting, and not only deflecting, he's doing it in a proper sly way. What's the word I'm looking for? He's reflecting. That's what he's doing, not deflecting. He's reflecting how he's feeling. Because there's only one consistent theme that we've heard out of Fury. We've heard one consistent theme out of Fury. We haven't heard how much he can't wait to push AJ's wig back. All we've heard from AJ is, oh, please, all I can do is, I can't stop thinking about Fury. I'm in love. I was on the phone to AJ the other day. He was telling me, YB, I've never been so love-struck. I'm smitten, he said. I swear to God, he used the word smitten. I'm smitten with Fury. That little bubbly, his little bubbly behind has got me all smitten over it. All I find myself doing at 12 o'clock at night when I'm laying in bed, I'm just scrolling through Google Images, looking at Fury, and looking at his little spindly legs, and I just can't wait to split them. Yeah? I can't wait for him to offer up his booty hole as a sacrifice, just like Pulev had to do. He had to offer it up. Simple as that. Pulev had to offer up the booty. It was as simple. Listen, when the gods come calling for the sacrifice, you got to offer something up. You can't come empty-handed, as Pulev found out. He offered it straight in the air. The clips are there, everyone saw it, gave his back right up for him. And AJ blew it right out for him. Got his back blown out, no doubt. So that's what we've been hearing from AJ. I'm dreaming of him. I'm smitten. Etc, etc. Meanwhile, Mr. Fury, AJ, Eddie Hearn say, listen, Fury, we've got premier VIP ticket seats for you to come down. We know you love the WWE. Let's not forget that. Oh, we know you love the big WWE gaff. You'll fly over to New York or wherever to do some dead WWE show. The fake stuff. Yeah? We know you'll fly over to New York to stick it on Spindly Legs Wilder. Beyonce, Shiante Wilder. No problem doing that. When it's fake, the minute you get sent a real offer, pull up, Fury. Let's get you involved. Let's get you close to AJ. Let's turn some of AJ's dreams into a reality. Why don't you pull up to the fight the way you've pulled up everywhere else? What did Fury say? Oh, well, I'm training. Oh, I'm too tired. Oh, I'd love to come, but, I'm tired. Oh, I'd love to come, but, C19. Oh, giving it all them. And then all of his fans are saying, oh, well, it makes sense. Yeah, oh, he's training. Oh, C19. That's what they were saying. Giving it all that. 2-2s. As one of my on-the-ball commenters brought to my attention, 2-2s, the same man who was too busy training and whatnot, ends up on, well, this interview you just heard, that was Sky Sports. Then he was on Jonathan Ross. Then he was on Good Morning Britain. So I thought you was busy training. What happened to being busy training and too tired and C19? Isn't that crazy? AJ's dreaming. You got AJ smitten. AJ's smitten over Fury, and you can't even turn up. But you're going everywhere else that isn't relevant. Does that add up to you, man? It don't add up to me. Wait there a minute. So you want the fight, allegedly. You offered to go there, but you got all the excuses in the world. 2-2s. But you're at all the different places. It was funny. I told you, man. Fury's always trying to be all in the video. Diddy style. People were saying, oh, YB, you don't know what you're talking about. Eddie Hearn's the one who wants to be all in the video. I've genuinely never seen Eddie Hearn on the Jonathan Ross show. I've genuinely never seen Eddie Hearn on Good Morning Britain. Mr. All In. I've never seen Eddie Hearn on WWE. I've never seen Eddie Hearn pulling up to New York to stick it on Wilder. Mr. All in the Video didn't want to be all in the video with AJ. Wouldn't that have been the perfect place, yeah? When Fury went to New York to stick it on Wilder, Fury was certain that Wilder was scary. And he was. He said, "Oh man, I've got the Povetkin fight. I got the mandatory." That's what he said. He was scary. Wilder was all the way scary, no doubt. Since Fury thinks that AJ's the same level of scariness, where was that? You meant to test it. Why didn't Fury test AJ's wig? Let's see how tightly woven AJ's wig is. He didn't want to test it, did he? He didn't want to. He don't want to be close to AJ. I've been telling you, man, this principle of closeness. Aldo, when he was going in there with McTapper, he didn't want to be nowhere near McTapper. Didn't want to be near him. Wilder don't want to be nowhere near AJ. Did refuse to. Remember Shelley Winkle making up all these weird things? Oh, we must do it in 24 hours and no, we can't meet. Didn't want to be anywhere near them. No, we can't. All this kind of weird stuff. Fury now. "Oh, well, I'll go on Good Morning Britain, but I can't go on to the AJ fight. This is the biggest fight of your life. You've been hyping up, oh, this is the biggest fight of my life, and you heard him in this one now. Oh, AJ don't want it. And that's where we're about to get to anyway. So Mr. I can't come to the fight, I'm busy training. He goes all in the video to literally every single radio site you can pick out of the air. And the one message he has isn't, "Oh, well, by the way, I bottled. Oh, by the way, Eddie Hearn offered me to go to the fight." Why haven't none of these interviews brought it up? "Oh, Fury, so you keep saying that AJ don't want it, and you keep saying you do want it. So why is it when Eddie Hearn offered you to come?" Because I've never heard Fish Eyes offering AJ to come. They've always looked at it like, "Oh, we don't want AJ taking the limelight." That's what they've always said. No doubt. I've never heard Fish Eyes saying, "AJ, come to the fight." Never. Haven't heard it. We've heard Eddie Hearn. "We want this fight. Turn up, please, Fury. Please, Fury. Make AJ's dreams come true." Yeah? Fury said he's busy. Goes all around the world to the radio stations. And then when he gets there, this is what, it's all, you have to take it all in. You have to analyse and evaluate it all. He turns down the fight. He goes to all the different radio stations, talking the most. And in there, he ain't even talking about the fight. He ain't doing the AJ style, saying, "Oh, all I'm dreaming about is pushing AJ's wig back." Nothing. He's only ever talked about what he wants to do to AJ when he's been questioned. Piers Morgan has to literally say to him, "Oh, Fury, how do you think you'd knock AJ out?" That's the kind of questions he has to get asked to give a smoky response. Otherwise, all we hear, the first thing, literally, in every interview, yeah, the first thing on Fury's mind is, "Oh, well, Anthony Joshua, he doesn't want it. Oh, he's scary. Oh, I can't do it, but listen, you've heard them all. You heard him here again. The first thing out of his mouth, the guy wasn't even asking him. People aren't even asking the question, "Oh, Fury, do you think AJ wants this fight?" But regardless of the question, the first thing out of his mouth is, "AJ don't want the fight. We've been the ones who want the fight. We've been chasing him around. AJ's going to have to duck the fight." Etc, etc, etc. So all in all, there's actions and there's words. The actions were, Fury, pull up to the fight. That was the action. AJ pulled Fury's hoe card. Pulled it out nicely. Yeah? Like a shiny. Remember Pokemon shiny cards, yeah? That's how it got pulled. He got pulled like a shiny. AJ pulled Fury's... Listen, he pulled the shiny. He pulled his shiny hoe card out just before he pushes his floppy wig back. It's one of them ones. Pull the card, push the wig. What's that machine where it's like pull it, pop it? That's what's happening, yeah? Pulev got his cherry popped, got his booty hole popped out for him. While Fury's about to get his wig pushed back after He got his hoe card pulled out, his shiny hoe card pulled all the way out. AJ pulled it all out for him. I was driving down the M1 the other day and I saw Fury's big shiny hoe card is dangling in the middle of the road. One of them ones. That's how far AJ pulled it out for him. All the way out. All the way out. And now he's pulling up to every different place. And this is what happens, you see. The same thing happened with Wilder. But thankfully, because of Wilder's low IQ, and or his honesty, and or the fact he got turned out and he's lost his head, Wilder's confirmed everything we knew. Oh, it was me who was messing around. AJ told the truth 100% of the time. Now Fury's doing, and this is what I'm sorry, yeah, we've heard from Dillian White, he don't believe it's going to happen. We've heard from a few people who don't believe it's going to happen. The YB's been consistent. If I'm wrong, I put my hands in the air, but I just don't get this energy from him. We had Eddie Hearn, Mr. trying to be positive. Eddie Hearn's going out of his way to try and lubricate this process. He doesn't want to rock the boat at all. That's how desperate he is. Mr. Banter, Mr. I love to crack jokes, is turning down his personality just so he doesn't get one of these ones. Oh man, well, he called me a hillbilly. I'm turning down $100 million because he called me a hillbilly. Just to avoid that kind of potential externality. Eddie Hearn ain't doing it. Eddie Hearn's gassing it up, saying, oh, we're really close. Oh, we love working with Fury. Oh, we love tickling fish eyes. You know what I'm saying? That's how desperate Eddie Hearn and AJ are to push that wig back of Fury's, that little toupee wig on the crown of his head. AJ's going to push it right back, all the way off his head. Yeah? So that's the differential here. AJ offers him to come to the fight. No. Eddie Hearn's saying we're really close and we really want this fight. And all we hear from Fury is, oh, AJ don't want it. AJ's ducking the fight. And I was actually shocked, you know, because this interview came out in the last day or two. Now, Eddie Hearn was on IFL TV saying we're nearly done. It's close. Now, the way Fury's acting, like, Fury didn't give any information. Like, Fury didn't say, oh, we're having conversations. Fury was saying, oh, this fight's been brewing for a long time. They've been avoiding it for a long time. They either run away and announce it publicly, or they take the fight. Either way, it's a lose-lose for them. Listen, you man tell me, did you hear anything validating from his statements that makes you think Fury went on Good Morning Britain 3 weeks ago and he's saying the same thing? So when Eddie Hearn did that interview that came across quite encouraging, I actually said at the time, I'm not sure how much of this is real and how much of this is Eddie Hearn not wanting to rock the boat. For example, let's imagine for a second, yeah, that the fight isn't anywhere close to being done, and instead, Fury's playing games. Eddie Hearn, given the fact he wants to be the pacifier now, isn't going to come out and say, oh, we haven't heard squat from Fury, we haven't heard squat from Fish Eyes, they've bottled it. Is he? He's going to have to say, oh yeah, things are going really well, just to make sure he doesn't offend them, because they're so sensitive. And now Fury's come out and he hasn't made a peep. All I've heard out of Fury is, oh, well, the fight, we've got the C19 situation, so that's going to delay the fight, and oh, AJ don't really want it, and if AJ doesn't want it, he's going to have to announce to the public he doesn't want it. I thought you man were nearly done. I thought you were nearly close to finishing. Now, it could be that Fury's just giving it the big one, but it just seems, this for me, yeah, seems way too, what's the word? It seems way too strategic. Is it, you tell me, is it by chance that the last 4 Fury public appearances, at the start of all of them, it's not even midway, it's not even mixed up. It's not like, well, he said it once at the end and he said it once at the beginning. Every single time, the first thing, we know, psychologically, like, people's attention spans drop off massively. The first thing is, you know, that whole first impression thing. The same principle. The first thing people say in a conversation is the most noteworthy. And the first thing on Fury's mind is essentially making an excuse for it not to happen. Do you know what I'm saying? Now contrast that with AJ. You don't hear, even though AJ's been the one who's had constantly contracts declined, people ignoring him, people making Wilder versus Fury 7, etc., etc. Even though that's the case, even though he would be the one, really, yeah, if anyone was to be the one, yeah, to come on media appearances and be negative, it'd be the guy who's been shorted, would it not? AJ should be the one saying, oh, you know what, Fury's ducked me, we sent Fury an offer 4 years ago when he came back, and I'm not sure it's going to happen because he's been ducking for years. Mr. Fury, the guy who's been the one who's always had an excuse not to do it, is the one bringing up more excuses. And I'm sorry, I don't believe all this stuff, yeah? You know when people say, oh, well, YB, no fight is scared. Well, explain his behaviour to me then, if he's not scared. What's it about? Because it's not kosher. This is fugazi behaviour. This ain't true fighting man behaviour. Why is Fury so worried about AJ not wanting the fight? And not even so worried, why is it always on the tip of his tongue? The first thing out of his mouth, and I wouldn't mind, yeah, genuinely. You know I'm not an AJ fangirl, because I've been critical recently. So you might know, I'll call a spade a spade. So again, if the situation was, yeah, AJ'd been ducking a bit, or whatever, then I'd get it. You could say, well, look, Fury's got a point here. But deep down in his heart, he knows he's never tried to make this fight. So what is it? He's always trying to push it on the public, just like Wilder was. Do you remember? Oh, Eddie Hearn, la! The Lewis Ortiz situation, Eddie Hearn's a liar, rah, 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 rah. And Fury's benefiting from that kind of, that fake news. Because the public's got that in their mind. All they've heard is Eddie Hearn's greedy, AJ ducks everyone, Eddie Hearn's greedy, rah rah, AJ ducks everyone, AJ duck Wilder, AJ, all this, like, Fury's got that base. Because AJ isn't a big mouthpiece, because AJ isn't a good for nothing mouthpiece, and he prefers to get it in, he prefers to let the wigs going back do the talking, yeah? AJ, like, TV animation shows, yeah? AJ just, AJ ain't got time to be doing talking himself. He'll just push that little animated wig back of yours and it'll be talking for him. Do you know what I'm saying? But whenever AJ pushes a wig back, that little toupee comes flying off their head and it just starts speaking. And it tells the fans straight, listen, AJ's going to push yours back as well. That's what it says. The little animated toupee wig comes right off and starts telling people, Wagwan. That's what we do know. Meanwhile, Fury, just because Fury and Wilder are big good-for-nothing mouthpieces, AJ don't say nothing. Eddie Hearn's Eddie Hearn, so it allows a narrative to build up. So now most fans, or most low IQ fans, actually believe, because especially when Fury's been out here 4 interviews deep, every time saying the same thing, people are going to... it's hard to argue that... Innit? Unless you've got deep IQ like us, man, the general public are going to be thinking, wow, look, it looks like AJ's cacked his pants. Because all we haven't heard, seriously, out of 4 interviews, we haven't heard one piece of information that makes me confident about this fight from Fury's point of view. Which, again, that would be fine if AJ didn't really want it and it was 50-50 and AJ was saying, like AJ, that's the crazy thing, AJ offered 50-50 as well, by the way. AJ's not even sitting on the 60-40. He's literally begging for this fight. I don't think you man really understand. He's begging for this. He can't sleep. All he can dream about is Fury's little toupee wig flying off. That's what I'm telling you. The gods of I've spoken to AJ. He's told me the gods have cursed him. He's cursed. Until that wig goes, that's the only way he can release it. Is by flinging Fury's wig off for him. Yeah? It's as simple as that. He's got to fling it off his head and turn it into a little animated character with a little mouth on it, like the Grinch's mouth. One of them ones. I'm painting a picture for you, man. Yeah, imagine a talking wig. That's what it's going to be like. Push it right off, turn it into an animation. Simple as that. It's the only way he can release the curse. He can't sleep until it comes off. And Fury knows it. That's what I think he's trying to do. Fury thinks, oh, I know what I'll do. I know AJ's cursed. I know AJ has to push my wig off in order to release the curse. The only way I can maybe I can beat him. If AJ can't sleep for the next 10 years, he's gonna be tired. That's what these kind of goofy guys are doing, trying to find little ways to get around things. Fury, man up, sign the contract, stop being out here. And this for me is just all female. It's way too female. Don't turn up to the fight, but you're all on all these TV shows, and you're just gassing the place up. Just let them nuts hang of yours. You're meant to be the big gypsy king, are you not? You're not acting like it. You're acting like a female. Listen, I don't mean that in a derogatory way either. You know what I'm saying? It's the cliche kind of way. I don't even know if that fits, but you know what I'm saying when I say female. That's how he's acting. Trying to be all technical. Oh, AJ. Oh, well, AJ, he doesn't want it. Oh. And the last thing I'll say on this is, what gets me is, he's proper making a story out of it now as well. Have you heard it? He's like, oh, this fight's been brewing, and one day I walked out the car. It's proper making up It's making up a fairy Disney story. Oh, this fight's been brewing for a long time, and AJ's been avoiding it, and it's getting more. What's the word? He's a proper actor, isn't he? He's a proper fake Fury. He ain't real at all. If he was real, he'd say, like AJ's saying. No, this is the crazy thing. I actually think AJ's too nice. AJ was saying the other day, oh, no fighters are scared. I know no one's scared. Well, how do you know that? Just because I think AJ don't realise, just because he's got integrity, just because he ain't scary, don't mean everyone else isn't. Like in life, you're obviously stuck in your own head, so you only know how you see the world. But unfortunately, AJ, you're at the top of the crop. Not if other people don't perceive the world like you do. Yeah? Fury doesn't see the world as a whole load of sweet, ripe booties to be took. He just don't see it that way. If he did, he wouldn't be on. You know, there's attitudes to this game. If Fury saw the world, yeah, and everyone in it as a whole load of big, bubbly booties to take, he wouldn't be going around doing the works, talking about, oh, AJ doesn't want it. Oh, if this fight doesn't happen, you'll know who's to blame. Oh, if this fight doesn't happen, then AJ will have to come on public. Do you see what I mean about the story? That was the latest one now. Oh, if AJ doesn't want this fight, he's going to have to come publicly and tell everyone. Oh, my man's proper going deep. Like, he lays it. Listen, AJ lays in bed at night thinking about blowing out Fury's back. Fury sits in bed at night thinking about what he's going to tell the next radio person, and what story and what background and what setting and what mise en scène he's going to set. You know what I mean? And what scene he's going to set for why AJ don't want it, and what. Where's he coming up? Where's he finding the time to come up with these fruity stories? Oh, well, if AJ doesn't want it, he's going to have to come publicly, and he's going to have to come on Good Morning Britain and explain. You know, just sign the fight. Don't worry about all the extra stuff. And that there really is the key difference here, people. If you didn't get it before, I've explained it to you. One man sees a whole bunch of sweet butts to be took. The other man is scary. Basically, Fury's created an excuse for himself. He's setting up. It's kind of like, that's a great example, yeah. It's kind of like planning on robbing something from someone, and you say to them, "Oh, by the way, if your money goes missing, you'll know that so and so took it." You just know what I mean? Setting the scene. Oh, and that's it. That's the one. Oh, if your money goes missing, don't blame me for it. You know what I'm saying? Yes, that's what he's doing. I can't explain what that exactly that is, but that's what he's doing. He's setting the scene. Oh, but if this fight doesn't happen, you know where to look. It won't be me. But Fury, you're the only one saying that. Do you know what I mean? You're the only one saying that. So it makes you look bait. Because meanwhile, the other team are talking about how much they want it and how desperately they want to get in them knickers of yours.